This is Eric Bischoff talking about his time in TNA. So let's go.
One of the big pieces of TNA's brand identity, there for a long time. Now, it didn't start this way, but eventually it would become a six-sided ring. And during the quote-unquote Eric Bischoff regime, that changes. What's the thinking there?
Because it was fucking stupid. It just, look, and this is where I'm a little harsh. I was a little harsh there. I've had a little bit of too much coffee this morning already.
No, let her rip.
Who the hell become harsh because they have too much coffee? I mean, is it just like a sugar rush? I thought he was going to say some like gin, ale, wine, but this nigga had coffee, and you're doing all this fronting, and you're doing all this rambunctiousness, all types of stuff. I don't get it.
Tater chip. That's what our listeners want. Come on.
It was stupid, right? I mean, I understand. You know, here was the logic that I heard. I'm not going to name names, all right? But here's the logic that I heard.
Howard.
Yeah, but when people are flipping through the channels, they're going to see that six-sided ring and stop and go, "Hey, what's that? Maybe we should watch it." That was the entire psychology and strategy behind the six-sided ring.
Well, that's like one reason. I'm pretty sure they gave you multiple reasons. But even if they had that one reason, the one reason that the Simpsons are yellow is because yellow stands out when you're flipping the channel. And the Simpsons been running for like 30 seasons. So maybe that whole idea of standing out isn't that bad.
You're hoping to build an audience, so because if people are clicking, first of all, people don't click through channels anymore.
Right.
You punch in your number, you scroll up and down, right? I mean, even in 2010, it was just an absurd rationale and psychology.
Well, even I don't even click in channels and go up and down. Even I, who has like Xfinity and AT&T, where you can actually like have the little square screen, and then you can click, and then you can go down, and you can just see the names. Even I sometimes click from channel to channel when I'm bored, when I'm just super bored and nothing to watch. And if I see a six-sided ring, I might stop and see it, depending on how the six-sided ring standed out. Well, actually, the six-sided ring would stand out. I mean, that would be a hell of a thing to see when you're flipping through channels.
If you will, or strategy to come up with a six-sided ring for no other reason than to capture the audience that maybe surfing channels, or as it was put, clicking through channels, and stop because they were going to see something that looked odd to them. Think about it.
I mean, also, this stands out from any other wrestling like program, because usually they have four-sided rings, but if you have a six-sided ring, not only do you have more spots where you can jump around, flip, do cartwheels, whatever, but it makes you stand out. It makes you the wrestling program with the six-sided ring. That's a hell of a thing. I mean, back in WCW, they did everything to stand out from WWE. I mean, come on, they had Lucha Libres, they had the little cameras that you could speak to them. They had trash on the fucking ring. I don't even know why they had trash in the ring, but they had disgusting trash in the ring. Come on, guys. I mean, and this was during the Eric era. Like, I guess the Eric era is dead. Like, WCW, that's why they went under. I think TNA is now lasts longer than WCW, I swear. But I'm going to do some research. But I think it does. But still, he's living his heyday, the 83 weeks, where he actually defeated them. And it wasn't 83 straight weeks. Many of the weeks, WWF slash E1, it's not a continuous 83 weeks, so yeah, gonna fuck around and find out it was like maybe 40 or 50 weeks continuous, but not like 83 weeks continuously. But yeah, they did that because they stood apart from WWF. And now you have the person who's all about standing away, standing aside, standing apart, making your own, just trying to conform and just basically be a pussy. And that's because it wasn't his idea, I guess.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking stupid, right?
Yeah.
Not really.
So that was my approach coming in.
What was really pretty fucking stupid is not using Bret Hart. Like, hindsight 2020, but you had all this news from Bret Hart. I mean, I would have had him do interviews. I would have did the Ric Flair. You know how Ric Flair actually took the belt and actually was going around like WCW? I would have did that shit with Bret Hart. Hell, I would have did it with Ric Flair. To get back at them, to do like a little nod and wink and shit like that. I would do that. Like, just as a big callback, just as a FU. Like, I would have Ric Flair give a new belt to freaking Bret Hart. Just to spite them. Like, I would do that shit. Or hell, I would have Medusa do that shit. Like, I remember when y'all had Medusa, I would have Medusa do that shit. Or a little bit of both. I don't know.
And I was very vocal about it. And of course, I pissed off 75 or 80% of the people in the TNA office because, of course, they thought they were the greatest thing since sliced bread because they had no point of reference. None of them had ever been in the wrestling business before. None of them really knew.
Yeah, they never been in a failed company like WCW. Or as they sold for like maybe $2 million at most. So yeah, we have this elder gentleman who ran a company down the toilet, got hired by Vince McMahon, fired by Vince McMahon. So maybe he's not the best reference point, stuff like that. It's like a nigga who did Enron. He's from the company Enron, and then he comes in, and it's sad that you hired somebody from Enron, but he comes in just waving his dick around, like saying they never been into an energy company at all, stuff like that.
Anything about the wrestling business. They weren't really interested in the wrestling business. They were just interested in being kind of popular in Nashville, I guess, in certain pockets of the business community there.
I mean, was TNA actual like Nashville company? I know Jeff Jarrett made it, but is it an actual Nashville company? Well, anywho, Eazy-E is dead. Well, the white Eazy-E is dead. This guy, he killed all uniqueness of TNA. I mean, they were already being called WWE Light because they brought in all these older fucking figures. Like, they really opened the WWF retirement home. Brought Nash, brought Razor, brought Hulk, brought him. Fucking, they really opened the retirement home. Hell, they brought Ric Flair. They really opened the retirement home to get all these dusted, aging superstars to really come in, become WCW Light, like fucking WCW Hall of Fame wrestling, like fucking that's it. But yeah, Eazy-E, thanks for taking away one of the things that make TNA unique. Or not even TNA anymore. I think it's like Impact Wrestling.